Well, the end of days of how the resurrection, all this good stuff. So why get petty over this small stuff? It seems like you're too into your religion. Your religion is, I'm be real with you, I get it, but when your religion is your life like that, to where the smallest details irritate you about somebody, then I'm just like, all right, bro, I get that, but don't push that on other people, though. Let's be honest. A lot of people get along just well, even if they are different denominations of Christianity, or they're Muslim, Christian, or Christian and a Hindu. It is what it is. I mean, shoot, there's people with there's Christians and Jews that are together. And I mean, that's the most unlikely, you would think.
News this morning, President Trump said.
But all right, though, let's go over to how Trump's Venezuela strike complicates China's plans in Latin America. Let's get right to it.
The breaking news this morning, President Trump says the U.S. carried out large-scale strikes on Venezuela overnight.
The dictator and terrorist Maduro is finally gone in Venezuela.
All this happened just hours after a high-level delegation from Beijing visited Venezuela. For more than 2 decades, China's been expanding its presence across Latin America, investing billions of dollars constructing solar farms, subway lines, EV factories, and building projects that have drawn U.S. security concerns, like strategically located ports tied to Chinese companies, or a 16-story antenna in Patagonia, erected, China says, to support space research. As the U.S. continues to push forward with its aims in Venezuela after the military strike, the message from Washington is clear. It wants adversaries and rivals out of its backyard.
Yep.
But China is not backing down on its economic and political interests.
中方深化两国各领域务实合作的意愿不会改变。
China's strengthened its...
So China's pretty much saying, yo, we don't really care what Trump is saying. We're willing to push it even harder. We're willing to still work with the Latin American countries that want to work with China. I know Venezuela's been taken off our list, but they're still willing to work all with other South American countries. So, I mean, we got to pretty much put our boot down. Like, let's be real. Are we going to be completely gangster about this, or are we going to back down just because we got Venezuela? Are we really going to get them out of our hemisphere, or was Venezuela a special case? Because in my opinion, I mean, look, bro, we want to follow the pattern of Venezuela and what we did with Maduro. Then, I mean, that boy Carney needs to get kidnapped. The Colombian president needs to get kidnapped. Cuban president needs to get kidnapped, because they are all still working heavily with the cartel and China. So, I mean, look, bro, if we're going to be gangster about it, let's just stick to that. But if we're going to be suckers about it and just let China pick another country to dominate in our hemisphere, then, I mean, let that be said.
Ties with Venezuela for more than...
But I mean, hey, bro, if we gonna pop off, we gonna start off on a gangster note, we might as well end it on one. I mean, hey, F it.
A decade now, also heightening its influence across Latin America by building mega projects. But after the U.S. military action in Venezuela, where exactly does...
Like, it's kind of funny, though. It's like, I know it's gonna sound wild, but it's like, as soon as America starts set tripping, we tripping, right? So as soon as we start hemispherical tripping on our territory, we tripping. So as we start protecting our self-interest, we tripping. I finally get what that hood nigga meant when he said, damn, so as soon as I'm set tripping, I'm tripping, right? Like, I get it. It's like, damn, so as soon as I try to stick up for myself, my territory, I'm tripping. When everybody else do it all, it's all good. This is everybody aligning with their interests. When I do it, I'm just tripping all of a sudden. Okay.
China go from here?
To understand how deep China's roots grow in Latin America, we'll start back in 2001. That's when Chinese leader Jiang Zemin made a landmark 12-day tour of Latin America, the same year China joined the World Trade Organization. As tariffs dropped for the new WTO member, it became much easier for China to trade with other countries.
There's a massive infrastructure deficit in Latin America. It's been enduring for decades upon decades, and China is looking to offload, for instance, its steel, export capacity in steel, its capacity in construction development, which has been well developed domestically in China over time.
It's Latin America's need for infrastructure and China's need for raw materials like oil, timber, and minerals that helped drive Chinese investment. To that end, just take a look at the investments from Chinese state-owned firms, development banks, and private companies around the world. This bar here is money that went to Latin America, the second biggest recipient just after China's backyard in Asia. And notably, China's investment there grew faster than its investment in any other region. increasing more than 400% from 2014 through 2024.
Makes sense.
China's presence in Latin America is often
I mean, yeah, Latin America is a resource-rich, oil-rich continent. I mean, just like Africa, all these continents are rich in resources and all that good stuff. And China's trying to get a part of that. Especially they're trying to maintain their dominance on rare earth mineral refinery. And they're doing that with the help of Latin America. That's also where they get some of their oil or extra oil from. And they're able to buy it below market price out of South America. And it used to be one of their main people was Venezuela. We cut that off. This is why this kind of hinders their plan in South America. And I'm be honest with you, bro, Chinese already got their foot in the Caribbean. I mean, bro, you got Chinese out there in Jamaica, bro, speaking just like them.
described as some sort of grand scheme to take over the region. I quite disagree with that notion.
Jorge Jaime served as Chile's ambassador to China from 2014 to 2017, and he pushed for Latin America to become part of the Belt and Road Initiative. That's Chinese leader Xi Jinping's signature global infrastructure program that he started in 2013, where Beijing builds and finances ports, railways, power plants, part of an effort to expand China's footprint and influence around the world.
This is a partnership that has evolved over time. It has grown organically. There are minuses. I fully agree on that. But if we
And all right, man, shout out to our guys at 1775 Coffee. Still haven't tried 1775 Coffee. Now's your shot. The 1775 starter kit just dropped, only 1,000 units. You're getting the bold dark roast that hits hard, and smooth medium roast, and the vitality mushroom coffee for clean energy and laser focus, no crash. I might want to get that. All single origin, small batch, toxin free, mold free. Plus, you're also getting a golden spoon clip because freedom isn't scooped with plastic. Okay, I like that. Now let's see. A frother strong enough to stir up your coffee and your mother-in-law's opinion, and a black 1775 tumbler. $170 worth of coffee and a gear for yours. Yeah, and gear yours for $99. This is for the ones who've been watching 1775 blow up on Rumble, wondering if it's actually worth it. Spoiler, it is. Go to 7075coffee.com/studio and grab your starter kit before they're gone. Bold beans, clean fuel, and a morning routine that stands for something, just like Rumble does. And all right, guys, make sure to shout out to 1775 Coffees.
draw a balance, I would say the pluses outweigh the minuses.
After Xi launched a regular forum for Chinese, Latin American, and Caribbean leaders in 2015, Panama became the first Latin American nation to join Belt and Road in 2017. China's state bank lending to the region peaked at the start of the decade, and massive Chinese-funded projects took shape into the 2020s. Among them, the longest bridge in Panama and the Chancay megaport in Peru. Over time, China's role in Latin America has grown far more sophisticated. Chinese companies are now buying and operating assets at the core of national economies, from power grids and telecom networks to mines producing lithium, copper, and other minerals needed for EVs, batteries, and renewable energy systems. Despite US warnings, countries including Argentina and Brazil have partnered with Chinese telecom giants Huawei and ZTE to build their digital networks, giving Chinese firms a foothold in the region's data and communications.
Yep.
Washington has argued since the Obama...
I mean, you know, it's so funny. I remember Xi actually gifted Maduro one of China's newly most advanced phones. It was basically like the ripoff of the Samsung Fold. It was foldable and all this crazy stuff, you know, but it looked real sleek. It almost looked better than the Samsung Fold, to be quite honest with you. It's a phone they haven't released yet, but they gave it to Maduro as a gift, and it kind of let you know how aligned Xi and Maduro really were.
Administration that these things get interesting with Venezuela. It's not even China's biggest trading partner in Latin America. It's these countries. Venezuela has ranked between 6th and 13th each year for the past decade. Despite that, Venezuela became a key political partner for Beijing in a region long dominated by the US. As Washington ramped up pressure and oil sanctions, China stuck by Nicolas Maduro diplomatically. And over the years before that, Beijing had already poured billions of dollars in loans into Venezuela.
中方愿意同美方一道努力，以此为契机，推动两国关系在更高水平上全面深入发展。
China invested in Venezuela's most valuable asset, oil fields.
Yep. I mean, that's why we had to get them up out of there, because China has been posturing. They've been ready, said, look, bro, like the influence we have there, about to hike it up and hike it up and hike it up until Venezuela is damn near a state of China. I mean, they were trying to have that heavy of an influence. And trust me, Donald Trump's seen it. It's like, if we let these guys have any more influence in Venezuela, they will pretty much own Venezuela, just like they do some African country with their 99-year leases.
China's public lenders pumped roughly $106 billion into the country between 2000 and 2023, making it the fourth largest recipient of Chinese state financing worldwide during that period. While Chinese loans to Venezuela slowed significantly in recent years, their trade ties continued.
So what we're driving through is another example of China expanding its footprint in Latin America. Back in October 2025, both China and Venezuela decided to open a new direct shipping route between here, the port of Tianjin, and Venezuela's primary Caribbean seaports. And what that did is it helped to cut down shipping time and in some cases lower shipping prices as China ships its goods across the Pacific Ocean.
After the US captured Maduro, the White House turned its attention to oil. During conversations led by US Secretary of State Marco Rubio, the Trump administration told Venezuela's interim president, Delcy Rodriguez, Venezuela must cut ties with China, Iran, Russia, and Cuba, and agree to partner exclusively with the US on oil production.
What we're not going to allow is for the oil industry in Venezuela to be controlled by adversaries of the United States. You have to understand, why does China need their oil?
Beijing says its oil contracts are protected under international law, but China only buys 4% of its oil from Venezuela. And experts note China may have already reached its peak oil consumption, moving rapidly towards zero-emission energy sources and leading the world in EV adoption. So then, what's China's next move politically in Latin America?
There is no doubt.
I mean, like I said, they were just trying to build more influence, so it'd be a country that pretty much would enrich China eventually. So they was enriching Venezuela to enrich China in the end. This was their plan. And even though it was only 4% of the oil that's coming there, that still hurts. That pretty much still drives up oil pricing for them, because now the 4% of their supply of oil, well, it's gone. And I mean, yeah, they can turn to the green energy and all this good stuff, but I mean, let's be real. Like, right now, nothing produced better than oil. I mean, well, look, we can sit there and say that, but I mean, look, guys, these guys have the biggest solar farms, biggest wind farms or factories, yet they're still relying on oil. But they're the main ones making this stuff, main ones making the solar panels, main one making the windmills, yet they're still using oil. I mean, that should tell you something. And this whole green initiative, you know, with buying these wind farms and solar panels from China, it only enriches them, and it's pretty much put on the backs of the, well, I'll be honest with you, of the people of Europe, because they're the main ones who suffered from that whole green initiative and buying all the windmills and solar panels from China, and it's put on the backs of them. So I'm gonna be honest with you, like this whole green initiative, it could work out. The solar panel could actually be a great thing. So could the wind farms, but it's not being utilized correctly, and it's kind of being, well, dominated by China. Therefore, it cannot be useful to us unless we start making our own and advancing them.
I think in Beijing at this juncture, an effort to reassess, first of all, relations with Venezuela, how things have been carried out, but also to do so across the entirety of Latin America.
I think that we are watching very closely that we need to readjust of our investment. Maybe some countries are too anti-American. It's very dangerous for China. The risk will be very high.
Even before Maduro fell, China's influence in Latin America was already under pressure. In 2025, Panama walked away from the Belt and Road Initiative, saying the deal just wasn't worth it.
What I'm really wondering about at this juncture is how much these actions in Venezuela really change thinking on the part of Latin American governments as they pursue a range of different projects, and especially those types of projects that are likely to intersect with U.S. articulated security interests.
For now, it's unlikely that China will pull back from its extensive ties with Latin America because,
well, China needed Latin America. Latin America needed China also.
It's an economic imperative. At this point, the region is fundamental for China as it looks to export massive excess capacity, right, in a wide range of sectors that China has been promoting from a policy perspective now for a number of years.
The Chinese message has been that China is a partner that offers stability and predictability. In diplomacy, this is very important. You could say that the United States today is not exactly a prime example of stability.
Yep, and that's pretty much what's going on there with China. As I pretty much said, it's like the main reason we're there is to remove Chinese influence, is to stop them from pretty much taking over Venezuela, which is honestly a stronghold in our hemisphere. It just makes sense. All right, man, let's go over to our man Mondani on The View. Yeah, I want to react to this as well.
His inauguration on New Year's Eve day, announcing a new generation of leadership for America.